Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, good. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today to talk about In Flames. I'm very excited about this film. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, this film is about a mother and a daughter who are trying to navigate life now that their grandfather has passed away, and they're dealing with men, in their families and in society, trying to take advantage of them. I love this story. It's very interesting how you managed to turn it into a horror and a thriller. Can you talk, Zarar, can you talk a little bit about how you developed it into and decided to turn it into a thriller?
So for me, the way that this film started out was in 2018. Bakhtawar and I made a short film called Dia. And that film was dealing with trauma and grief. And it was kind of the first film for me that like people saw who weren't immediately related to me. And for Bakhtawar, I think that was your first time on camera, right?
No, actually, it wasn't on camera, but for film.
Yeah. And it was this, we had an incredible experience with that movie. And I spent the subsequent 5 years kind of traveling the world, both with that movie, but also with film labs. And I never went to film school. So my education was kind of these international labs like the Asian Film Academy and the Locarno Filmmakers Academy. And I was getting to meet really incredible filmmakers, but also seeing the kind of cinema that I'm drawn to personally. And that is cinema that plays with genre. And as I was developing the screenplay for In Flames, a lot of the experiences in the film felt like they lent themselves really deeply to genre, because there was a visceral element to how it feels to be navigating Pakistani society. And those genre elements to me felt like a natural extension of the psychology and of the characters' journeys through living in a really hard city that creates hard people.
Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. Ramisha and Bakhtawar, your characters, when you first read the script, what was it about each of your characters and the story that really intrigued you to jump into this project?
It was definitely a horror part of it. The I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, when I read the script, I completed the script at 2 a.m. and it was dark. And like I'm not looking anywhere. I don't want to see anything. So it definitely made me. I was creeped out, and it was just like freaky feeling, and I really liked that, and I really enjoyed that. So that was yeah, for me that was it.
For me, it was the mother-daughter relationship, or rather lack of it. I really liked how there is a relationship, but as typical in Pakistani households, we see the communication is very limited and different. So all the films, the content that I exposed to growing up, every time you see a mother and daughter relationship or any relationship between two women of different age groups, it was heavily borrowed from West because that was a content. Or if it was our own content, then it was very melodramatic or very authoritative. Where parents have way more authority. Here, uh, in Zarar's story, the relationship was that we had to find our own way to deal with it. It was layered, and also it was very real. I am a mother myself. I have two daughters. I have a teenager daughter. So the lack of communication, but at the same time having so much unconditional love for your child that it just breaks you from within when you realize things. I think that sort of was my anchor. How to go from here. Because as a person, as a mother, also you want to learn new things to better your relationship, also to improve on your relationship, also on your understanding. So I think this film, not just as a film, but in my personal life, has helped me a lot to understand me better, to understand my kids better. And I think that was a big pull for me.
Thank you for that. I love that response. I do think that, this being a very personal experience and a very Pakistani experience, I think everyone can relate to this because we all feel loss at some point in our lives. and anyone can relate to having lost either a parent or a grandparent, and there is that struggle of having to figure out to navigate and figure out how do we stay together as a family when maybe the pillar of the family is no longer with us. So I really enjoyed and appreciated that experience that you guys showcased in this film. So thank you for that. This film was Pakistan's official submission to the Oscars, so that's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations on that. How did that make you feel, each of you, when you discovered that it was the official selection?
I mean, it felt good. It felt, yeah, no complaints. The Pakistani Academy Committee was led this year by Moon Naqvi, who's another incredible artist. And we don't have a national film body in Pakistan. It's other artists supporting artists. So it really, for us, for the team that came forward and decided to nominate us for Pakistan, it was just like this huge stamp of approval to like keep going, to keep creating art. And it's been such a wild journey from that moment. But yeah, it was really gratifying to be supported by other artists.
The story is a genre mashup of sometimes comedy as well as drama, and like we mentioned, horror and thriller. What was it like switching up the scenes and either filming the scenes or having to film these scenes, these more difficult thriller like scenes?
Oh, everyone looked at me. Yeah. Okay. I actually it was very heavy, and some days we would just stuck in one room and just continuously shooting in that, and would go up to from morning till night, and then we'd come back to that room again and do that. So it got at one point got very heavy for me, and I remember I used to go home and cry myself to sleep, because just have to remind yourself that this is not actually happening to me or the Mariam, and we are two different people. So it was heavy, but I really enjoyed the romance part of it. It's very refreshing. It's light. It just brings the mood up, and even behind the scenes, we were all joking around and stuff, and like this Bakhtawar would make jokes, and like people saw me and Umar, we had so much fun. Umar, who played Asad. So yeah, I think it was all behind the scenes. We had to be like, okay, it's okay, yeah, to make it light, but like once the scene is on, the camera is on, we have to like go back to that. But yeah, it got heavy, and then we had to make sure that we are having fun. Yeah.
So I'm generally a talkative person. I'm very chatty. I think my anxiety brings that side up, and then if I can't talk, then I start singing and singing. I'm sometimes it's not even appropriate because they're doing my makeup. I'm singing, but that's how I deal with it. But later on, halfway the film, or I think towards the end, one of my friends, she commented that I have become passive aggressive, and I think that came from the film, because yes, because the yes, it's not the shoot, the feel of how I was actually getting into the character. And I think I realized towards the end, because what was happening is that as Faria, as this woman in society which was unable to fight with everyone, with the law and the police and everything at once, so you kind of like hold things back. You kind of have those grudges, and then you hold them back and you can't let out, because Faria's character doesn't have, towards the end of the film, she does a lot. But before that, she's just struggling in dealing with in her own way. I think that was a part which was like, it made me for a while, for a very brief while, it made me. And then after we were done filming, I sat down and I thought about it. I thought, yes, in a way, Faria was creeping up. The whole turmoil that she was in, it crept up inside, and then obviously I let her out, and it went away. But that was interesting. I mean, that was only second time I felt it. Once in theater play, I felt that, and that was. I think this Zarar's story and direction. So I think that was a successful experience.
I mean, I'm grateful that both of you were like willing to go there and to play within these different genres, because as we know, life is not confined to one genre. And I didn't feel like this film needed to be. I wanted it to show, a young woman falling in love.
Yeah.
I wanted to show a woman navigating the loss of the last pillar of her life and how she relearns how to move forward into that society and rebuilds her relationship with her mother. And those things can be thrilling, they can be comforting, they can be scary. And so it was important to explore all of those different facets in the movie. And it was tough to play within genre and be genre bending. But I think that's what will push cinema forward when you're more experimental with approach. And that's one of the things that I'm proudest of this movie, that we were able to go into the unknown. How do we navigate what genre this belongs to? It also makes interviews really hard.
Well, I won't keep you too much longer. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for showing me this film. I really enjoyed it. I really appreciated it. And I know everyone else will as well when it opens up in theaters tomorrow across Canada, April 12th. Check it in theaters, In Flames. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Have a great day.